Previously on episode 3.
I've been Derek.
And I've been Dan. See you next week. Hi, I'm Dan.
And I'm Derek.
And welcome to the Gleeful Globe.
So we're all aware of the wild events that are going on during 2020.
So we figured that we should find and spread gleeful news to cheer everyone up and keep us moving forward.
So without further ado, let's move on to our first piece of good news.
Yes, sir.
Our first article is talking about how a small business owner is surviving the pandemic by live streaming her own fashion shows on Facebook. Although many small businesses are struggling to survive during the pandemic, this business owner was able to think very outside of the box. She moved onto social media when the pandemic first hit. Then she started live streaming some themed fashion shows every Friday night, leading to a spike of interest.
She now ships her products all over the country. She was originally pushed into nursing, but has always wanted to start a business and was finally able to 6 years ago. Well, that's good news because I do need a change of clothes.
So our second piece of good news is how a nuclear fusion reactor that is hotter than the sun is going to be able to provide unlimited clean energy to the world, and it marks a huge milestone for the human population. In France, a nuclear fusion reactor that could produce unlimited clean energy is starting its assembly phase. It cost 20 million euros and it took 35 countries working together, but it is basically like a mini sun on the Earth.
Thousands of tons of magnets and hundreds of miles of cable came together to make this, and parts are still being brought in from all over the world. This is currently the biggest and hopefully the most fruitful nuclear fusion project in the world.
So our third article that we're talking about today is how a woman makes friends with a 4-year-old girl after she yelled Black Lives Matter in a Home Depot. While shopping with her mom in a Home Depot in Colorado, 4-year-old Cameron Radcliffe yelled Black Lives Matter.
I say Black Lives Matter so loud. Black Lives Matter!
Then I heard Black Lives Matter, and it wasn't like she said it like Black Lives Matter. She said it with strength and like she was making a point.
Sherry Gonzalez heard and thanked the girl, and they have since become good friends.
They hosted a garage sale and proceeds went to Sherry's charity, which supports girls in Kenya, which is very wholesome. During this pandemic, nurses and doctors are already highly valued as heroes for their courageous work. Now, this nurse is taking it a step further by creating a Take What You Need pantry for her Virginia hospital. Stacey Mason, an ICU nurse, saw that during the pandemic, hospital workers would work long shifts and go home only to not be able to find household necessities.
She decided to create a pantry for her unit where staff could donate any extra items and anyone who needed it could take it. It was such a success that she expanded it to her entire hospital.
A lot more people now volunteer with the pantry, and Mason is being hailed as a hometown hero, a title that she well and truly deserves. Imagine you want to go and eat outside, but you're afraid that you can't afford the prices. Well, the Sweet Family Style restaurant has no prices and feeds anyone in Alabama. Drexel and Honeybees always has Southern food and Southern hospitality.
And after you eat there, you can leave whatever money you can in a booth next to the door. The owners make no money from what's left behind, and anything that's left in the booth goes back to providing food for others.
They ran a food bank to this previously and have always tried to give back to those who need them. Now, when I say Chernobyl, you may not think of fungus, but this amazing fungus that's discovered at Chernobyl could be grown in rockets to protect astronauts from toxic space radiation. Scientists from Stanford and UNC Charlotte have discovered a new fungus in the Ukrainian nuclear accident site near Chernobyl.
The fungus was growing on the reactors, which leads to the conclusion that if there is life that can survive that kind of long-term radiation, then it can be used to protect astronauts in any extraterrestrial mission. The fungus uses melanin pigments to convert gamma radiation into chemical energy in a process called radiosynthesis.
Well, when the theory was tried in labs, it provided a small amount of protection, but not enough to be of any use. However, scientists are hopeful that even that protection could be used for future projects, maybe even a barrier around Mars.
A team of researchers changed photosynthesis in plants to help them conserve water and increase food yields. RIPE, which is an acronym for Realizing Increased Photosynthetic Efficiency, wants to see whether or not various systems can be improved.
Hacking a few of these processes could increase yields by more than 50%. Which is a very large amount.
Our last piece of good news is that there is a baby elephant boom in Kenya, and that is thanks to the rainfall, and that is showing record numbers of individuals being born. In a Kenyan national park, a record of 140 elephants were born this season. The national elephant population has been more than doubled in the last 30 years due to a crackdown on poaching by the Kenyan government.
2 of the new baby elephants were twins, which was incredibly rare among the species. The boom is mostly due to the abundance of resources that came from the rainfall. Well, we always love extra elephants. They're so cute. And that's all the good news that we have planned for this episode.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Gleeful Globe. We post new episodes weekly, so please don't forget to subscribe and share this video if you liked it.
If you come across any piece of news that cheers you up and that you'd like to share, please don't hesitate to fill us in through this link, tinyurl.com/gleefulglobe.
I've been Derek.
And I've been Dan. See you next week.